national security of the world, literally. It's a very big piece of land. It's really cold, got a lot of ice on it. So it's not like we're going to build a nice real estate development or anything.
No golf course on Greenland?
I don't see a golf course.
All right, how badly do you think he wants it? What's he going to do?
He wants it for the sake of national security and defense, and it's all about the way that we fight modern warfare with missiles flying across continents. And so he's trying to defend the United States and the world from that with deterrence through the Golden Dome, which he believes they can build part of it on Greenland. And just generally speaking, the geopolitical situation in the region, you know, Russia's got a lot of military bases all around the Arctic. You had the Chinese in 2018 starting to call themselves a near Arctic country, and yet you have the NATO Secretary General just recently saying that they started to beef up Arctic defense in 2025. That was less than a month ago. So NATO is far behind. The president sees the writing on the wall for modern warfare, and he believes that, look, Greenland is a strategic asset the United States needs for the sake of not just the United States, but protection of the world.
All right, we'll see what happens in Davos, and I know what I'm going to be doing, watching part 2 of your interview with the president tomorrow.
See you
Katie
tomorrow
Pavlich,
night.
great
Thank
work.
you.
Thank you. All right, and be sure to watch Katie Pavlich's new show, weeknights, 10 Eastern, right here on News Nation. And now we got Chris Cuomo from Cuomo. Good to see you. Thanks so much for coming on my show.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Your takeaway from the interview Katie had with the president.
I think it's all about a matter of perspective, and it's all about the midterms. And you can always point to metrics that are useful for your cause in politics. It's about how the people feel. Perception is reality. And this is a dark mood in this country. Some of that is because of the president. Some of it is done in reaction to the president. But I think there's a lot of wood to chop in World 2 and Year 2.
Yeah, no, and by the way, I encourage everybody to watch your program as well. I mean, you're opening about exactly what was at stake and what might be the wins or you know, things to think about for the president. It was really, really informative. Let's just stick with Greenland for a second since this is happening. Obviously, we understand what the benefit would be, right? We're dealing in a very unstable time, and you talk about missile defense, you talk about having the ability to have vessels in those routes. How far do you think he's willing to take this in terms of tariffs? And by the way, now Europe is saying they'll have a trade bazooka in response, potentially, where they would eliminate businesses from doing, you know, investment in those countries. How far do you think he's willing to take this?
Never know. I mean, that is the wild card for the president, right? Is that you don't know what he's willing to do or not do. Some people see that as a strength, others as a weakness. You know, I listened to Katie, I listened to the conversation. I have no idea why Greenland is being approached this way. Every argument they're making, there is no golden dome. There's no gold in anything. There was never any Star Wars. These were myths. They never became anything in terms of instrumentation. If you want to use Greenland, why wouldn't you just do it through your alliance and through NATO? Why does he have to own it? It doesn't make any sense, and I don't think there's any chance it happens.
In your opening today, you mentioned how health insurance, you know, you talk about the economy, you can talk about GDP, you can talk about inflation, you can talk about grocery prices. You said health insurance is something the president should really focus on going into the next year. Why?
Because that's what he promised. America first. We got big problems at home. People can't get ahead. He's supposed to be a populist. Healthcare, the cost structure, you know, I'm going to give you a healthcare savings account. If I put $5 in this pocket or in that pocket, what difference does it make if I'm charging you $7? You know what I'm saying? If you want to deal with what it costs, go after those guys. One of the best things I've heard the president say is when he said, I'm going to call in all the big shots from the healthcare companies and say, we're going to do this with you or without you. You're making too much. I love that idea, but that's where it ended. Then he met with the oil guys. I'm telling you, the midterms are going to be about the cost of living. No matter how much we're trying to distract, I don't care how many Greenlands there are. It could be Australia next that he says he wants. The midterms are going to be about the reality of people's wallets in this country, Jess. That's what it's going to be about.
Yeah, and by the way, just focusing on that for a second, if you talk about the wins of the president, I mean, I think there are certain things objectively you can say. The Middle East, right? You can talk about GDP. closing the southern border. I mean, you had a graphic up in the difference between the Biden administration and the Trump administration. One thing that you've been vocal about is the idea of military in the cities. Now, I think there's a difference between, obviously, what we talk about is, having a hard line on immigration and making sure that the criminals in this country are extricated as possible. I want to play you a piece from Katie's interview where she talked about using the military to police cities. And let's take a listen and we'll talk about it on the other side.
Take a look at Washington, D.C. As you know better than anybody, it was very, very unsafe a year and a half ago, because now it's a year, so I have to go a little more than a year ago. But it was a very, very unsafe place, and now it's totally safe.
By the way, I just have to tell you something. I had a friend who just moved to D.C., okay? This guy is as far on the left as you could possibly imagine. He goes, you know what? I like that the military's there. That's what he said. He goes, I feel safer. So curious your thoughts on when the president talks about, and I just spoke to Katie about the idea of potentially the Insurrection Act being used in Minnesota. Your thoughts on
Everybody wants to be safe.
Yeah.
You're a new dad. The idea of the safety of that kid is everything to you. That is not a partisan issue. It's about how you do it. The idea of the specter of military being used, forget about in the violation of the fancy phrase, posse comitatus, the nonchalance of talking about the Insurrection Act, as if it's even a close call in Minnesota, is a little frightening, not just to somebody who's, a lawyer, but as a citizen. America doesn't do that. We don't do military as might makes right because we don't like the nature of protests. Washington, D.C. is not safer because National Guards were on the street. That's not what it was. There was a whole strategy going on down there, and the presence, of course, matters, but at what price? You really want military all over the streets? You really want the law to change? You really want it in Minnesota? What do you think's going to happen when they get on the ground?
I'll tell you, if there's more episodes like what happened in that church, they're going to have more support for that. I'll tell you that.
But listen, I think you're right. But is that leadership? Is caving to what the most fearful people, the most angry people want, is that leadership? And look, I think that I had the leader of that protest, one of the organizers, Nikema Armstrong, on the show last night.
Oh, I saw.
And I gave her a full and fair hearing. I don't believe that they were invited in the way she suggests. Certainly the preacher didn't intimate that in his comments. A lot of people there seemed really scared by it. I think that it is an open legal question, but that doesn't mean that the military is the right call. I believe that we are, everything that we've talked about tonight, and everything that you're going to talk about tonight is about how extreme you want to be. This president is really comfortable being extreme. I don't know that the country is.
Before I talk about a new venture that you have, and I think it's incredibly exciting in case people don't know, just focusing on the military for a second, we are also living in a very different day and age. His comments regarding Iran, I think were fascinating tonight, where basically he said if certain circumstances are met and he got instructions, he would wipe Iran basically off the face of the planet. Now, this is a situation where military force was used to oust Maduro. Strikes on Iranian nuclear sites earlier this year. When you hear that, I mean, what do you think the plan may be? Because as the situation is getting worse there, and you're seeing the death toll, and obviously some of the numbers we can't accurately report given some of the limitations, but there is talk about whether or not he'll impose military strikes there. What did you see it as?
The idea plan doesn't work for me. I don't think he has a plan. I don't think he has a strategy. I think he's more about tactics. He's about reflexive reaction. Sometimes it's right, sometimes it's off. Iran, to me, I'll tell you what worries me about Iran. Obviously, you have the people's cause there. What worries me about Iran is that I don't want to be Iran. When you look at the history of that country, they went down this road of extremism. They used to be a very heterogeneous, open, cosmopolitan society. Some people referred to it as like the Paris of the Middle East. What happened? Extremism, fundamentalism, and then these ayatollahs came in from like Britain. They're not Iranian, and they came in and took over. I feel that we're seeing some of the shoots of the same type of fundamentalism in our country. As the fringes continue to dominate our politics, we're getting more and more extreme. We're talking openly and casually about whether or not the military should be brought into Minnesota.
I mean, you made the point on your show that the numbers say one thing, it's the feeling in this country that's really bothering you. And by the way, I love talking to you. And now if I want to talk to you more, do I have to call into your new SiriusXM radio show? Because you got that. It just launched again on Sirius in the mornings, right?
Yes. 7 and 9, drive time, very important. People are setting the table for themselves. I think that in this media environment, unfortunately, you can't be one and done anymore. I'm sorry, Jesse, you're going to have more jobs.
Apparently,
you really have to find a way to compete with these people who are putting content out 5 seconds. You know, remember the old expression that a lie gets halfway around the world before the truth can put its pants on? That's like 10 times as true now.
It's true.
Most of what I deal with during the day is either asking one of my producers, is this real? Is this real? Did he really say this? Did this really happen? And I want to be more of a consistent presence for people, just like you do. Same guy, different time.
Yeah, I actually believe the AI photos that came out today of Victoria Beckham dancing at her son's wedding. I didn't know either, but this is what.
Hey, listen, that letter from Trump to the head of Denmark, I thought it was fake.
Yeah, I know.
I said, hold on, I'm not falling for this. My producer was like, well, you better. He wrote it.
Well, best of luck. Listen, thank you so much for coming on. Who doesn't want a little more Chris Cuomo in their lives in the morning? So congratulations. I'm really, really happy.
Congratulations to you. I'm happy to be part of your family.
Thank you, sir. Good seeing you. Appreciate it. All right. And by the way, watch Cuomo weeknights at 8 Eastern here on News Nation.
Hey, that's my burrito. Hey.
You're not gonna be able to sleep tonight.
That's my burrito.
Purple, less pain, better sleep.
My biggest fear in the middle of my addiction was that I would never be able to get over it and that my kids wouldn't have a father. I started thinking, you know what? This isn't my story. For the longest time, fear held me back from ultimately being who I wanted to. I had to become a better man to be a better father. It's important to me that my kids are empowered and truly believe that if they can think it, they can do it.
I feel sometimes that I'm not listened to. I feel that I'm not getting the attention that I need, and it's a lot built up in my chest. I would just want you to listen to me more often and evaluate situations with me and lead me towards success.
Listening is a form of love. Find ways to support your kids at soundidouttogether.org.
Thank you, Mr. President, for having us here at the White House.
News Nation Tonight. The exclusive interview continues. Katie Pavlich one-on-one with President Donald Trump.
It's a job that has its dangers.
Tonight, 10, 9 Central on Katie Pavlich Tonight. Only on News Nation.
Elmer loves to giggle. Elmer's mommy told him that laughing can help when you have a big feeling, like when you feel happy. Make sure to celebrate when you're happy and laugh it out. Love your mind.
Scroll. We're glad you're here on what is
rapid rundown of the local headlines, stories shared, viral videos, plus the features and facts before they hit your feed. You're watching The Daily Scroll with me, Bailey Stroll.
Hello and welcome to yet another episode. I feel like I say this every day, but it's because we go live every single day. And we have fun doing it. Okay, every afternoon or whenever you get to watch us. You know, you can just binge it if you want. We'll talk about that later, what we've been binging. But if you want to binge the Daily Scroll, you can do that on Ozarks First Plus. Today, we are talking about what we're watching, our little screen time segment. Jay and I have been watching the same show, and we didn't even know.
We didn't even coordinate it.
Just a few Well, I did talk about it last week.
Yeah,
That I wanted to watch it.
And I'll be
And I
honest,
followed through.
I had a moment the other day where I was like, I don't have anything to talk about on Wednesday when we talk about what we're watching.
You're
Should
welcome.
talk about that one show on Netflix. I guess I can do that.
You're going to try it out?
I'll try it
and
out.
I binged it over the weekend, which I usually don't do. I'm usually like a one episode and then go to bed and start again the next day. Nope. On Saturday, I think I laid on the couch for 3 hours and watched His and Hers. So we're going to be breaking that down later on. Shout out to Parker Paget because he's the one that told me to watch it. And it does have, it follows a news reporter, anchor,
Is that why you
lots of new
suggested
stuff.
it? Because there's a blonde anchor girl.
Well, yes, but no, I don't care about her necessarily. But she does. They do have a lot of discussion about, like little acronyms and things that we use. And I mean, I wouldn't say it's realistic, but they got the script right, at least
I'm
when
still
they
waiting
talk
for
about
a shout out for. I want to hear him talk about SOTVOs. That never comes up.
Satvo,
Yeah.
Vosots.
If that came up in that show, I would be shocked.
They did say package. They're like, okay, we got to get this package done, or we're
Sure,
going to go edit
sure,
this
sure.
package. So I'm like, okay, well, at least they know that.
getting
News
somewhere.
package. Okay, so other than what we're watching, you got to stick around to the end for that. We're going to have a little bit of an airport update. My favorite thing to talk about here on this show is the Springfield Branson National Airport, which I feel like the people that live here probably don't care about it as much as I do. But, it's an exciting time for the Springfield Branson National Airport, and I'm here for it. Maybe because I live close by, maybe because I don't frequent it that much, but I like it. And then a library book returned decades later. You hear these stories every once in a while. This is a pretty good one. So we'll talk about that, which book it was, and the little post-it that came along with that return. And then just a very silly cow. Okay, we'll just leave it at that. Well, it's evolving, I think. Cows are evolving. They can use hand tools now, or at
I
least
almost
this
made
one.
that the super, but I thought that was a little clickbait.
I
don't
wondered
think
if
that's-
you would.
I don't think that's what's happening in that video.
We'll let the viewers decide, but I think
Sure.
there's something to be said
Maybe.
about this cow using some hand tools. They might be able to work on the farm in different ways rather than just their pure strength. I don't know in the future. Okay, let's get into the local thread. Springfield Branson National Airport posting on social media how it started and how it's going. Because, they give a little update every week about this big terrazzo project, replacing the flooring project, which, if you've been around, if you've watched the show, we've had this on many times because the carpet is now gone and the terrazzo tile is here to stay for decades to come.
Do you think we've talked about this or Route 66 more?
They're probably tied at this point. Actually, this might be
Your two
num-
special
the number
interests.
one. Yeah. And the bear in California and maybe the
true.
monkeys in St. Louis. I was actually looking.
Are we going to get an update on that?
I was looking for an update today. Couldn't find one.
We still don't know.
The latest thing is we don't even know if they actually existed.
Were they all AI?
Because it might have been AI. I'm not even kidding.
Oh, no.
Maybe
Oh,
I'll try
no.
to find one tomorrow, but I feel like people might have been so embarrassed by that
That they didn't even
that they've just let it
talk
kind
about
of
it.
slip under the rug.
Speaking of rugs.
I was just going to say that. Oh, my goodness. Speaking of rugs, yes, I don't know what to do with my carpet tiles that I got from the Springfield Branson National Airport. The flight of the three, the grass, the rock, and the water. They are in my guest bedroom, stacked up under the bed. Still don't know what I'm going to do with them. But there are exciting developments happening with the massive renovation project that's happening at the Springfield Branson National Airport. So the waves in the terminal's lobby officially done. And you can see there how many other projects they're almost done with, have already completed. The bridge replacement's done. You'll notice that only if you, take a flight when you're walking from the terminal onto the flight. You'll notice brand new, which is pretty nice.
It's cute with the little planes getting to their destination.
Yeah, I think this is a cute graphic. And then the flooring project, almost done. The terminal airport expansion looks like it's almost done. I think that was more laying concrete to eventually expand the terminal. And then what's the parking lot expansion? I think that's, well, you can see there, it is almost done. I think 200 more parking spaces have either recently opened or are about to open. I've never had a problem parking. So, you know, I guess I'm glad they added them. But again, that's what makes Springfield's Branson's Airport amazing. You don't have a problem finding a spot. You might have to walk a little bit, but there's no problem finding a spot in the long term. So the terrazzo tile is essentially complete all out throughout the lobby. They now have that wave design, which is 13 different colors. They've been laying this down. It's walking from the terminal entrance all the way to the security checkpoint. And they said that mother of pearl is included in this terrazzo mixture. So it shines in the sunlight. I like this. 5 months into the flooring project, they've got 5 months to go. So I feel like that airplane on that graphic was a little too far ahead. I don't know.
They're getting there.
Shouldn't it be halfway? I don't know.
Yeah.
But they said that it makes us excited to see what the terminal will look like come summer.
So are these some of the pictures you were talking about?
Yes, there it is. Look at that. It looks great. And it looks almost exactly like what they had told us it was going to look like. When they showed that little, I lost it too on my phone, but they showed the little rendering, and then they compared it to the rendering in their latest Facebook post, and it's almost exactly. And I don't know. I like it. I feel like we're entering a new era with Springfield Branson National Airport, and I think their marketing about this is what I've loved. I loved watching some good marketing and them selling the tiles with the carpet tiles with the proceeds going to the Regional Arts
Keeping
Council.
the community involved is
yes, the transparency. You have to love that as a journalist. Okay, well, that's it for the local thread today. Let us know if there's anything I'm missing out there, fun stories that I may have missed, and we'll try to get them in. But next, a library book returned after 46 years in South Dakota. Came with a little Post-it. You can probably guess what it says, but we'll leave that for after we come back.
Introducing Purple, the only mattress with the GelFlex grid, designed to relieve pressure and reduce pain, so you can end and start your day feeling refreshed. From quiet mornings to meaningful moments together, because the right bed doesn't just improve your night, it improves your day. Purple, less pain, better sleep.
Life's daily battles are not meant to be fought alone.
We're not powerless, so long as we don't lose sight of what's important.
Don't be afraid to seize that moment to talk to your friends.
Cloud, you okay?
Because checking in on a friend can create a safe space.
The first step on our new journey. You coming?
Reach out to a friend about their mental health. Seize the awkward. It's totally worth it.
Even the mighty might not see it coming. It's prediabetes, and it captures 1 in 3 adults. But you can escape. Take the 1-minute prediabetes risk test to know where you stand and prevent or delay type 2 diabetes. Be your own hero on smartphones everywhere at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Well, you know the saying, better late than never, and I guess that's the case for the South Dakota Library that just got a book back after it was checked out 46 years ago. The person who checked it out finally returned it with a Post-it note on it that said, better late than never, smiley face. Luckily, this person is not getting charged because I think this particular La Mesa County Library did away with their late fees. But they did take to social media, of course, and post this post. Sorry it's so late. And it looks old. I know this is 1980. Looks a lot older than that.
Looks faded.
Yeah, it does. And I missed the title there. I wanted to look up exactly what this book was and why it was I guess it got shoved in the back of a cabinet
I don't know.
or something. But hey, good on this person to return it.
Just once I want one of these stories to end with them actually like charging them. Being like,
I know. How much would it be
Yeah,
if
you
it's like
actually owe us
15 cents a day?
a couple thousands of dollars.
15
So,
cents a day for 46 years? I can't do the
time
math
to-
that fast.
time to
But
pay up. Because it always
You'd
just
be
comes
broke.
in and they're like, yeah, it's fine. We just wanted to have
I
it
know.
back.
I think, honestly, this story has made it all the way to Springfield, Missouri. So,
so
I
that's
guess
fun.
the publicity pays
Yeah.
for the late
So it all
fees.
works out.
I did do this when I took a book
You
when I
stole
was
a book?
from my school library.
You gotta stop
Didn't
admitting to crimes on the
realize
show.
it. Didn't realize it for a very long time. I think I was probably in first grade. And up until I graduated, I was afraid that they were going to figure out it was me and they were going to, for some reason, hold back my diploma or something. But they didn't. And I think I still have that book, or maybe I sold it in a garage sale. But
What book? Do you know what book it was?
it was something about a mule. I know that. It was a kid's book.
Okay.
For sure. I was very young. But I love those little slip-in things that you stamp with the date on it. It's sad that we have gone the technology route with the library. I'm sure the people that work at the library like that, but
You just like stamping things.
I love the way that they did it, you know, so you could see the last time it was checked out and the
Yeah.
time before that and how long they kept it and who it was. And just like the textbooks at school, you know, you could see who had it the year before you.
Wait, so are we not going to have these stories someday? Because it's just in a like computer algorithm who has the book?
Yeah, they're just going to have to screenshot their computer screen. Oh, it's 46 years
it's
old.
really old. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, that's sad.
I wonder when all that went by the wayside. But 1980,
They're still
really,
doing it.
it does not feel like that long ago to me.
You weren't
but I
alive.
guess it was. I wasn't. Even my oldest sister wasn't alive. But I just, I don't know.
Yeah.
We always have stories like this.
This comes
though.
through every little
every
while.
few months, and it
It's
always
one of
makes
the
the
classic
rounds.
kickers.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Glad the book made it back. If you have any library books sitting around at home,
Bring them back.
bring them back.
Make a good
cares?
story. Keep
Yeah.
the libraries in the news. Speaking of good kickers, I think a lot of folks will see this on the 5 p.m. news tonight if they get to it later on. Cows are evolving, okay? Or at least a 13-year-old cow in Vienna, Austria. This cow has proven that she might be the sharpest tool in the shed. She is able to use a broom to scratch her own back. And by the talking with the owner, these news outlets have, she's actually developed this skill like over the years. I think she's been doing this. She's been using the tool for 9 years now. So she can flip it around. Depends on the way she picks it up. She can use it as a brush. She can use it as a poker. I just,
Bailey, this is utterly ridiculous.
I was waiting for that.
Yeah.
Waiting for that. I don't know. This cow is extremely cute. It makes me think, what else could we have them be doing?
Yeah, I liked earlier when you were like, they're going to be helping on the farm. Like, that's
They
just
could.
scratching itself. That's
She could start
that's pretty,
sweeping up her own hay out of her
Um,
stall.
I saw no sweeping. I only saw scratching, which I think is a pretty like inherent animalistic impulse.
Well, it actually makes me feel bad for all the cows out there that aren't getting their itches scratched.
That's so true.
They're just walking around all day
Give
long,
more
never getting a
cows
little
brooms.
itch or scratch. Ugh, breaks my heart. But I mean, in my defense, to your lack of faith, the skill has left scientists from the Veterinary University of Vienna flabbergasted. They say it's way more than you would expect for any cow that belongs to a farm.
Wow, take that, farm cows.
And there you have it. I know they're not expected to do much, but look at that. It just,
I do think tool using is a very rare animal ability.
and there, I mean, yeah. It makes me think about the scratches. Like sometimes I go to somebody's house and I see how they scratch their dog. And I'm like, I don't think you're doing that right. It doesn't look satisfying for them. Get where they want it to be. I saw a video the other day of a dog that had an ear infection. And the person said, well, that you need to wipe out the inside of their ears with a tissue or something, and she goes, "Oh, I thought that the dog wouldn't like it," but she got a little tissue and started scratching around in there to clean the inside of the ears, and the dog immediately like melted and started moaning. And I'm like, you haven't scratched the inside of your dog's ear in its entire life? That's the number one spot that my dogs like it.
Well, yeah, your dogs don't really have other places to pet.
Well, yeah, and I can get the good scratches on them hairless babies. But it makes me feel bad for all of the dogs that you go to scratch them and you can't even hardly reach down to their skin through the fur.
Yeah,
They're never getting a good scratch.
They need a broom and to be trained how to scratch themselves. That's what we've learned today.
This is the stuff that keeps me up at night. All the dogs and cows that are not getting their good scratches. Okay, next up is our screen time, what we're watching segment. So we talked about it last week. I wanted to watch the show called His and Hers on Netflix. New limited series, kind of a crime drama that involves a news anchor, news reporter. And Parker Padgett told me about it. I said, okay, let's do it. So my husband and I watched it. We ended up watching it for 3 hours on Saturday afternoon. And then I've watched a couple of other ones, but they're oldies. One I like, one I don't like. We're going to get into it next.
Hey, that's my burrito. Hey.
You're not gonna be able to sleep tonight.
That's my burrito.
Purple, less pain, better sleep.
My opponent is completely disregarding almost half of my arguments which I responded to.
Communities must step up
Laws
and
alone
protest
cannot
against this
stop the
normalization.
bullying.
Well, I completely disagree.
Point of inquiry, do you guys even realize that the #1 killer of children and teens are gun injuries?
You're probably starting to realize now, this is not a debate.
There is no adult in this earth that wants children to die.
I worry for my kids.
Oh, I don't see where you got your degree.
I don't have one. I went another route.
All right. I guess tell me a bit about your experience.
For 15 years, I've been managing logistics and mastering project management skills.
Wow. Sounds like you've got just the kind of skills and experience we're looking for.
Thank you, Mr. President, for having us here at the White House.
News Nation Tonight. The exclusive interview continues. Katie Pavlich one-on-one with President Donald Trump.
It's a job that has its dangers.
Tonight, 10/9 Central on Katie Pavlich Tonight. Only on News Nation.
Okay, what have we been up to on the streaming channels?
You're already Googling John Bernthal.
I'm looking up John Bernthal because I could have sworn...
He's in a lot of stuff.
I could have sworn he was in The Bear.
Oh,
Turns
I
out
don't
he's
know.
not.
Okay, yeah.
It's a lookalike.
Because every time he gets angry in the show, I'm like, that's Frank Castle, because that's the Punisher.
Frank Castle from The Punisher.
Um,
Haven't seen that.
He's also the brother in The Accountant and The Accountant 2. He's really good in The Accountant 2. I saw that last year.
I was qualifying these. Oh, no, he is in The Bear. I see it. I scrolled over it. I was right. Yes.
And then Shane in the newsroom told me that he plays Shane on The Walking Dead.
Oh, yes.
So
The Walking Dead, for
with that what you
sure.
will.
I would categorize those as boys' shows.
Sure. Yeah.
But now he's in something for girls and boys to enjoy.
Yeah, it's just a
Are you
murder mystery.
enjoying His and Hers?
It's a complicated relationship.
You think you're too smart for it?
I think I'm too smart for it. I take notes as I'm going on my theories and thoughts and how far I am.
Maybe you're just taking it a little too
and it was
seriously.
I think it was about 10 minutes into the third episode that I went, oh, they just told us the answer.
Mm-hmm.
I just solved it. I know the whole thing now. And you told me I'm basically right. So
I do that a lot with movies. They're shorter. You get to the point faster, I think, with movies. And I kind of ruin it for my husband because I'm like, oh, yeah, I figured it out.
Oh,
this
okay.
one threw me for a loop, if at the very least in the last few minutes. So you have
the start of episode 3, I got the pieces, and then halfway through episode 3, they said a line that made me go, "Oh, that's the last puzzle piece I needed. This whole thing came together. It's perfect. I'm done."
Well, let me tell the people out there who haven't seen it, I guess, what it's about.
Oh yeah, that's fair too.
So these two estranged spouses are from a small town outside of Atlanta. One of them is a reporter in Atlanta, but had taken time off because of a family death. And, well, it was their child that had died. And I guess she just up and went away, and left him in the small town. Well, then there's a murder in the small town.
Say it ain't so.
So she comes back. She's like, I need to get my job back because this blonde bee took it while I was gone for a year. She needs to get her job back, so she's going to go back to her hometown, report on this murder, essentially solve it, and then, chaos ensues.
And like I said earlier, you don't know anything about a blonde anchor girl, right?
No, nobody that would steal anybody's job. No, I didn't. I didn't steal anybody's job here. I earned it.
I guess I have enjoyed that, like, there's like a murder mystery at the center of it, but then there's so many side things going on that at first I thought were just random and were just like extra spice to make it
That's what I
interesting,
like
but
about this.
It's coming together a
It
little bit.
reminds me of Severance, where every word they say, every
important.
little piece that they do is important. And that's what I like in an era of people explaining the plot a million
Yeah, that's
times,
true.
talking about the plot a little too much because people are on their phones.
Yeah. Well, I
Matt
talked
Damon
about
was just talking about that.
I talked about Knives Out movies the other day, and I don't think you knew what I was talking about. But this
No.
has some of the fun little elements you see in Knives Out movies.
Where
I would say
everything's
done
connected.
worse, but yeah.
Done worse. Okay.
But
well.
there's little pieces of that if you really need that itch scratched.
I'm not usually like a
it's there.
true crime type of person, but I
Sure.
like this because there is so much happening outside of the actual crime, even though it is all centered around the crime. But
Oh, we also talked about John Bernthal. Tessa Thompson is also very famous. I know her from Thor movies, but
I didn't-
she's in lots of things.
she's the first. That's the first time I've seen her
Yeah,
in
she was
anything.
in, like, Men in
but
Black and Creed
Tessa
and stuff.
Thompson.
Yeah,
I mean, she's great.
she's cool.
They both did a good job, and they both had good chemistry, and that's what Parker Paget had told me to go
And
watch
that's-
it because of
that's
that.
what you really need.
And of course, it has the newsy element into it. Can't forget that. Which you don't get very often. So I'm glad to see it. I'm glad to see us represented, in the media.
Yeah. The media never has anything to do with the news.
Well, when they do, it's like
I look on
the
TV and
in
we're
the
nowhere.
background. Oh, come on. We're always
Yeah.
in like a little montage of something, to move the plot forward, but
true.
never the main character.
You should go watch
You know?
Superman. There's
that's
a
true,
weirdly
touche.
large amount of news
news
stuff.
stuff. Well,
to the point I rewatched it recently, and yeah, that's one of my main complaints is that
There's too
it's-
much news?
There's moments where everybody in the show stops what they're doing to watch the
To
news
look at
together.
the news. Yeah.
And now it's focused on you. So that's
Yeah. Hey, I mean, I usually do take the attention away. No, I'm just kidding. And then the only other things, I started watching Fallout last night because, well, back up. Started watching Tell Me Lies for the second time, which is a show about college students and their decision making and essentially where it leads them. But too much romance, if you know what I mean,
Not
for
enough
myself.
lies.
Not enough. I mean, they are not moving the plot along very quickly when every 10 minutes they're getting intimate, if you know what I mean. I can't watch that. I'm sorry. It does nothing for me. I don't want to see it. Just get to the point. Unless that's the point. I know this is based on a book, but it just goes to show I tried to watch it twice. I can't do it.
I always mix that one up. There's another one based on a book, but I think I heard somebody read that book and was not impressed, and then there was another book similar to it that they
Well,
liked
I
more.
heard there's a huge
I don't know.
twist at like the end of the second or third season. I've heard about
That's
it many
too much
times,
to
so I'm trying to
get
get through
to,
it.
but yeah.
And then I even told my husband, well, we can just fast forward through those parts and maybe the storyline is good. Nah.
No.
Got to the same exact part that we were before.
I hate when people say, "Oh, you should watch this show. By season 4, it gets good," and I'm like,
Yeah,
"Oh,
yeah.
I'm not going there. I'm not going to make it that far."
And then Fallout, just briefly, I started watching that last night. Only saw the first episode. I know they have a new season out, so I'm glad I'm not going to have to wait around for the second season. But I also know I'm late to the game, so I won't dwell on it. But so far, so good. I really like it. But you told me that is actually based on a game?
Yes, it's based
News
on a
to me.
video game. There's a whole game series that's been around for a long time of Fallout Fallout New Vegas is the one I think of first. But yeah, there's a bunch of them where you run around a big post-apocalyptic world and do stuff, and there's a lot of story and characters that people love. So I'm glad the show's good.
I like it's lighthearted, even though there's some gore and killing and stuff.
Too seriously.
Yeah, it doesn't take itself too
seriously. Which is a different vibe for something from like a post-apocalyptic.
Yes, because I usually don't watch those type of shows because they are a little too serious, and it makes me think, oh my gosh, if I was in that world, I would be so stressed, and it stresses me out, and I don't like to watch those things. This is funny. You can laugh through the most gory parts.
You can just say pluribus if you want. You don't have to beat around the bush.
Yeah, pluribus. That's definitely. But Severance, a show out there, and it's lighthearted. Yeah. You get some comedic relief. Through the worst serious parts. Okay, well, that's going to do it for us. Another episode of the Daily Scroll done. We'll be back tomorrow and the next day and the next day and the next day. And I'll be live tonight on the news with my serious face and my serious voice. We'll see you then.
Hey, that's my burrito. Hey.
You're not gonna be able to sleep tonight.
That's my burrito.
Purple, less pain, better sleep. For decades, I've taught you everything I know. How to safely build a fire, and how to control the flames. But I can only teach wildfire prevention. Only you can prevent wildfires.
Thank you, Mr. President, for having us here at the White House.
News Nation tonight. The exclusive interview continues. Katie Pavlich one-on-one with President Donald Trump.
It's a job that has its dangers.
Tonight, 10/9 Central on Katie Pavlich Tonight. Only on News Nation.
There are a lot of temptations facing young people today, like electronic cigarettes and skateboarding. Each vape pod can contain the same amount of nicotine as a pack of cigarettes. This can lead today's youth to a lifelong addiction and severe lung damage. Recall and consider the facts before making a poor decision.
The health class film guy isn't the best person to talk to your kid about vaping.
Got a few minutes?
You are. Start the conversation with your child about vaping today.
Oh, I don't see where you got your degree.
I don't have one. I went another route.
All right. I guess tell me a bit about your experience.
For 15 years, I've been managing logistics and mastering project management skills.
Wow. Sounds like you've got just the kind of skills and experience we're looking for.
President's tough talk with Europe is rattling Wall Street, creating a so-called